What's happening? It's Ryan with Lawn Crack, and today I'm just going to run over some general info about lawnmowers, lawn care, landscaping, all that kind of stuff. I am at the post office because it's a Saturday. By the way, it's a Saturday. Nove doesn't ship out on Saturday, so we do stock the most common replacement Pro Slide parts, so we are able to ship them out on Saturday and hopefully get them to you a day or two sooner if you do order on Friday after the shipping time ends, or on Saturday, and I can get it to the post office for you and get that headed your way, because I know how important it is to get the replacement parts fast. But this really convenient post office right here. I'm going back to the church back here that you may recognize from another video. But that's where I'll be getting some footage, going over some mower maintenance, all different kinds of stuff. So it's going to turn into multiple videos. But I hope you enjoy, and let's get to it. Okay, we are on site. So like I said, I'm going to be shooting multiple videos today, and I'm going to start off with going over like a very basic, let me stress, very basic USDOT like pre-check before your vehicle heads out, because this is just something that you should really be doing even if you don't have the requirements of the DOT, because in my opinion, you're driving down the street with, you know, a full-size truck and a trailer, or maybe you're in a box truck or a dump truck or a flatbed. You probably may even very well have a larger trailer than that. So I just think it's a great idea to have like a sense of responsibility when you are driving a big vehicle like that, because you can seriously do some damage if you are involved in an accident. So obviously be 100% sober whenever you're driving a truck and trailer. Should go without saying, I hope. But I'm gonna run through some of the DOT pre-check things, like the main things that you want to be looking out for, and just like the major red flags. So I do have a blog post on Lawn Crack site that goes into pretty good detail on USDOT and the states that require it and don't, and some caveats and when you do need DOT and stuff like that. So if you want more information, I highly recommend to go check that out. I'll put a card up in the corner, whichever corner it is, I don't know. But let's dive into it. So one of the most basic things you're going to want to check is your lights. So your headlights, you'll probably even check your brights, check your tail lights, check your flashers, check your turn signals, check every light on your vehicle. If you are a DOT vehicle, you are expected to have every single light on the vehicle working, whether it's like a required light or not. For example, we had these like amber lights running across the roof of the U-Haul. Well, you know, they weren't really necessarily needed, but since the lights were fixed on top of the truck, DOT expected those to work. So if you do have lights that you're like, that light doesn't even matter, well, you're a commercial vehicle, it should work on your vehicle, and it's something you may want to address, because it's just really going to open a easy reason for someone to DOT cop, or even just a regular cop, to pull you over, because you're just sticking out like a sore thumb. So along with the lights, another thing you want to check is your tires. You want to check air pressure and tread. So if you didn't know this, if you see wires showing on your tires, that's time to replace those tires. Okay, that is a 100%. Here's your sign. Change your tires if you can see the wires. Okay, it's time to get new ones. They're no good, they're unsafe, drop them. But these tires right here are very good. I know it's going to be really hard to see on the video, but this is a relatively brand new trailer. I mean, we just got it this year, so doesn't have too many miles on it. The tires on this are just fine. Don't forget about the tires on your truck. Also, every single tire should have tread and stuff like that. So like I said, for the specifics, check out the blog post or dive into more information on the official USDOT, I believe, .gov I don't know, I think it's a really funny website. I'll link that in the description and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm borrowing Billy's truck, obviously, B&B lawn mowing, and if we take a look at these mowers, they are not strapped down. So this is just something you really have to deal with. Honestly, your mower should be strapped down. They should not fly off of your trailer if the trailer were to flip. So on top of just running, one of these, very, very cheap Harbor Freight straps across your mower and saying, hey, I strapped it down, you actually need to pay attention to the weight of your equipment and like the poundage rating, or however that's stated on the strap. So you need to make sure your strap rating is greater than the weight of your equipment. So there is actually some thought that goes into this, but if a cop wanted to, they could very, very easily and by all means pull this truck and trailer over, because these mowers are not strapped down. And yes, if you do have an enclosed trailer or a box truck that you're toting your mowers around in, they should be strapped down inside of the box also. Okay, another thing you're gonna wanna check is if you have a trailer, this is something you wanna check like literally every time before you take off, because you never know if someone's trying to sabotage you or what, but check your connections right here. I'd always just recommend to just push that plug in, just make sure it is snug in that outlet. If you notice, our chains down here are too long. So if we just had those chains just running straight, just whoop, and just one straight line to the hook, they would be dragging the ground. So what we did is we wound them around each other, so in a spiral shape, and that made them shorter and brought them up off the ground. Make sure your pin is locked in your whatever that's called, the little hitch receiver type deal. So make sure that's down, locked in, all that kind of stuff. That is very, very important. We actually had an employee of mine going through a neighborhood too fast, hit a speed bump, and the trailer popped off the ball and jammed into the back of the truck. The safety chains did their job and kept it attached to the truck, but we had damage to the bumper, and it was pretty embarrassing, obviously. And if anybody saw that happen, you can 100% guarantee they're not gonna hire your company. Okay, the last couple things regarding DOT, remember this is very basic. I would highly recommend you to look into this more, but before you start your day, you should note down the mileage. When you end the day, you should note down your mileage. You should have a start mileage and an end mileage for every time that commercial vehicle goes out on the road. It should be documented who's driving the vehicle. They should have a medical card, if not a CDL license. So that is something to look into. I believe it's over 16,001 pounds, or maybe it's 26,001 pounds. But whatever it is, if your vehicle rate weighting, and that is the truck, the trailer, and all the contents, what do they weigh? Like I know a lot of guys get stuck on, well, my truck's rated at this and my trailer's rated at this, so I'm under 10,000. Like 10,000 pounds is the limit in Kentucky where you need to have DOT over that. So it varies from state to state, but if you're over 10,001 pounds, you need to have DOT, whether you have a single axle trailer or not. And even if you are under 10,000 pounds in the state of Kentucky and you have a dual axle trailer, you're supposed to have DOT. So there's actually no cost to getting the DOT numbers. You just hop on the website and grab the DOT numbers, apply for them, stuff like that. If you do interstate travel, you very well may need to pay a fee to have that ability. So there's definitely things to look into. In my opinion, the information is very hard to find and confusing, and yes, I really think they should improve that and get people more information so they can more easily comply. Another thing to note on your pre-trip inspection for your truck for DOT is check your oil level, check all of your fluid levels, check the fluid levels. Like, that is just common sense, so quick and easy to do. And I'll be perfectly honest, I replaced 3 engines in 3 different trucks, and it all had to do with not having enough oil in the engine, and it's very embarrassing. One time the guys actually forgot to put oil back in the truck after changing the oil. The other times it just ran out. Actually, one of those engines was at 202,000 miles, and that truck plowed and was worked like a dog. So that one was probably legit, needed a new engine. But the other 2 were just dumb, not doing the maintenance, stuff like that. So over and beyond doing this for DOT, definitely be checking your oil level, transmission fluid level, brake fluid level, windshield wiper fluid level. I mean, it's just so quick and easy to do. Why would you not do it? You know what I mean? I hope if you're unaware of DOT or just needed some basic tips on things that you should be checking, I hope that got you some insight. If you like the video, please remember to like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And until the next video, keep making money.